Hello and welcome back to Burning Questions. You join me today with my colleague Alec Purdie, where we'll be bringing you episode 1 of season 2, a brand new season with a lot of interesting information. So we'll be recapping, going over everything that we discussed in season 1 and looking at what's to come in season 2. So as you've possibly noticed, we have had a break. A lot's gone on, Alec. We've moved premises, new offices, new warehouse in Wardle.
Yep, that's correct, yeah.
New filming area, as you can probably see around us here. We've got a brilliant new area for filming in, great new content room. Growing the team.
Yeah.
And anything to say on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the main thing, especially with the growth, is the fact that season 1, we were starting out. I mean, obviously Quelfire are quite popular on the social media front. But we wanted to go a bit beyond what we did. You know, when we started out, we did it on a mobile phone, didn't have the audio equipment. So yeah, we've got the new area, new equipment, and behind the camera, which you'll never get to see because they always shy away. We've got a huge marketing team now that's going to be increasing the content and obviously the quality of that content as well. So we decided to take a break to make it a bit more structured. So with season 1, it was kind of a little bit all over the place at first. You know, the format did change gradually, which we'll cover on the recap side of things. But with this one, we've gone away and done a dedicated sort of season, so pre-recorded it, you know, kind of like the professionals do, I suppose. But it also gave us a chance to focus on other things that we wanted to film. So by the time this episode's released, you should have seen the Meet the Contractor series that's on our website. So that was a season that we dedicated to talking to some of our customers and contractors that work with us. So once you finish this video, if you haven't already checked that out, go along and see that as well. So yeah, that was pretty good as well.
Yeah, excellent. In terms of the growth of the team, a lot more technical expertise in Quelfire in terms of personal development. So in terms of yourself, obviously Chloe, and myself, now a member of the technical team. We've learned over the years, haven't we? And a lot of new knowledge, a lot of increased knowledge, but also new additions as well coming soon. There's a lot more members in the team now, a lot more experience and expertise, isn't there? So that'll be coming.
Across every department, it's grown quite extensively. It's been sky's the limit at the moment with Quelfire, definitely.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good. So to recap season 1 then, take it away.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, strange as it sounds, I mean, season 1 started, I think, well over 2 years ago now. And when we first started, which is why me and Glenn are back for episode 1, it was me and Glenn, we started the season. You know, we haven't actually done an episode together since episode 6 of season 1, so quite some time ago. But the initial format, we thought, you know, when we started this, was a sort of Q&A, so a competition as such. So me and Glenn would have a sort of mini competition of answering questions on several topics. So the first 3 episodes was fire science, service penetrations, and then Quelfire products. And we had we tried a few different things. We did the Q&A, and then we brought in some sort of physical challenges as well, which try not to remember them too much because Glenn over sort of he won the overall sort of season. But we wanted to sort of change the format. So I suppose from there, where did you think, what sort of format did we go after that sort of man?
Yeah, so I guess from those initial, you mentioned the sort of friendly competition, the challenges. We started developing into. We started, I guess, developing into more of a information and knowledge kind of
and more dedicated, I suppose.
Area. Yeah. So would you say specific topics we started covering?
I did fire test, one of the first episodes of fire testing with Dow, but then you did one with Craig with early engagement and training. A really popular one was actually the one me, you, and Malcolm, who used to work at Quelfire, when we discussed our IFE level training, because we'd all done different avenues to like learn up on the information, and then went and did the exams. Obviously, you did your level 2. You're looking at your level 3. Malcolm and me had done the level 3, and that was quite popular. Just giving some tips, and then we did quite good seasons, which was me, you, Adrian, and Craig. Did frequently asked questions. Well, they were quite good. Just very common questions that were constantly asked in the technical team, just to give that defined sort of answer that we stick to, and it sort of blends quite nicely in with our knowledge hub, which is on the website as well. And I suppose the last portion of season 1, we wanted to bring external voices, so we started bringing in guests. So we had a number of different guests, such as Mandy Youssef, Alec's double and stuff like that as well. So it was more focused on the topic of competency, which was quite a buzzword at the time. Still is, obviously, now, but it was just sort of showcasing the different areas in the construction industry. So we had, obviously, fire engineers, consultants. We had an architect, Hassan, came on, which was very good. And there were other guests as well. So it was a quite good season. And like I said, we did 26 episodes. So it's quite a long-running series, well, one every month. So that was quite good. So I suppose, again, one of the reasons why we wanted to have the pause was the industry has changed quite dramatically. It's doing it quite suddenly. So how do you think the industry has sort of changed since really we've had that pause and the break? What do you think's been the big factor?
I guess one of the things that, to my mind, has certainly come to the forefront more is certainly the Building Safety Act and BSR submittals for those bigger projects. There's far more scrutiny on those, especially particularly Gateway 2, I guess, is a very hot topic, if you excuse the pun. But yeah, certainly there's a lot more. And I guess from I don't quite know what the right word is, but people or elements in the industry that maybe didn't previously have much engagement or involvement with fire stopping. Obviously, you've mentioned those people that we have had involved, fire consultants, fire engineers, architects, who have an involvement. But now main contractors, project teams, M&E designers, things like that, those sort of people are now having a lot more of a deeper look at fire
it's affecting everyone, really. So it's been quite.
So I think from my point of view, that's certainly something that's changed massively since the last series.
I think that's sort of nailed it on the head, really. That's kind of the focus when we come on to what's going to be happening in season 2 is, even where I've been going on sort of external CPDs and stuff like that, everyone is constantly, the buzzword is Gateway 2. Obviously, Gateway 3 is going to be the next one, which probably by the time this starts, Gateway 3 is also going to be in the limelight of the news as well. But it's the focus of sort of how it's going to work. Obviously, the government's just now sort of announced that there's going to be change at the BSR. The head of the BSR dropped down, obviously. And then we've had, I think I can't remember the names, but the 2 London Fire Brigade people step up. So can they do it? There's other things going around, like should fire engineering be sort of a protected term? Because obviously at the moment, most people can call themselves fire engineers without actually having degrees and stuff like that. So there's a lot happening behind the thing. So we've kind of, again, with season 2, I think that was one of the main things we wanted to focus on, these key areas and bring in guests and as such that will help amplify and give explanations, their points of view. It's not just Quelfire, it's everyone sort of provided. So, and to be honest, that's one of the things I like about this, and it's why I watch other things, is sometimes you feel like you're alone and you're banging your head against the wall, but then when you hear other people have the same, concerns, frustrations, or they have the same positive outlooks and negative outlooks, when you don't feel alone, we're all in the same boat. I think that helps us all work together to overcome that. So I suppose
definitely
that's a good sort of tangent into the next thing is, I suppose, for the audience, why they should stick around for season 2. What sort of guests? Just
to sort of touch back on some of the things you were saying then as well, I think one of the big things and what we're discussing about things changing and topical things in the industry, I think one of the things that is happening or is kind of an issue, if you can call it an issue, is a massive lack of confidence. So people are extremely hesitant. They're extremely, they don't want to necessarily get involved. You mentioned fire engineers. There's a lot of push, people passing the buck. There's a lot of, and from our perspective as a manufacturer, we maybe do our fair share of that. We're not fire engineers. And I think you took the question you asked about the guests lined up. I think what we've tried to do in season 2, and I think a lot of the content is to this end, to provide confidence. We've got a lot of very knowledgeable and experienced industry experts lined up for the episodes on season 2, and certainly for myself, it's given me a lot of knowledge. So to touch on the first one, Tom Hughes from Safer talking about the role of the principal designer, something that's certainly a part of the BSR submission.
Yeah, it's definitely a misunderstood subject. I think that will be very clear on that.
He's come in to provide a lot of, I think certainly that episode gave me a lot of confidence and gave me a lot of information. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
We've always had core values, but one of the big pushes with our white paper, and that is the empowerment. So not just confidence, just give our customers and even our indirect customers, like you mentioned, MEP designers, architects, main contractors, is to empower them with that confidence to go, look, you can trust this. We're giving you this information. This is this knowledge, this education. You can watch these videos. There are people like ourselves that are quite willing to give up our time to try and help give you that empowerment. So Tom, I haven't actually seen the episode myself yet, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think the role of the principal designer, obviously I know principal contractor comes in that, but I think the principal designer is one of the most confusing ones out there, or there's a lot of like you said, sloopy shoulders passing the buck of who is it. And I think he will hopefully provide some insight on that. And again, follow on that, one of the guests I've managed to do episode with is Joe Hart. Does a number of different things, but he's a fire engineer, has his own company, obviously his own podcast, and shares his knowledge. Very passionate, the same as Quelfire. So I had a very good episodes. I think actually it might even be 2 episodes depending on the length of it type things. But we'll be talking about fire engineering, different things and that side of things. So again, one of the things I think with the confidence is around fire engineers. No disrespect to them, but there's different levels, and unfortunately, depending on which fire engineering company you're going to pick, it depends on what they're able to do. Some, again, with insurance or experience, they might not be able to do things like technical assessments or things like that. And Joe kind of explained that as well, and what role and stuff like that. So that was a really interesting episode as well. So
it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And then I guess another guest we've got is Chelsea Green from Encon. So Encon are obviously a distributor, a insulation distributor primarily. They distribute Quelfire's products. And back to the topic of competency. And I think, obviously I've known Chelsea a while, and actually her journey through the industry is very impressive. Especially as she spoke to the technical team, she was learning her IFE level training and stuff like that. So again, bringing that outside voices from different avenues. We've got distributor there, we've got Tom, Joe, and there are going to be other guests as well. Got Stephen, who's going to come in from Midfix to talk about simple things to help MEPs know about first service supports and other stuff, possibly about the MEP sector that we need to talk, because like you said, they're being dragged into this Building Safety Act quite at a fast pace, and their knowledge needs to come up extremely high, which they might not have known how impactful they are on passive fire protection in particular. But it's a good episode. And then obviously I know we're going to have a lot more guests talking about it as well, but we are going to also have internal episodes. So we're not just going to have guests. There are certain subjects that I know we want to discuss here in Quelfire about things that we are implementing and changing as well. So there will be can't go into it too much now. Don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. But it's going to be a good overall episode, I think, moving forward. So that's good. We've certainly got a lot of knowledge and information coming. So make sure you stay tuned for season 2.
Obviously we wanted to keep this one short and sweet because it's an introduction, and we want to make sure your attention is ready for the season 2. So all I can say is that the episodes are going to be coming out once a month. There will be the same sort of day. Falling, it will always be a Thursday, but it will be near the end of each month. So look out for that. The main thing, obviously, as well, is if, when you watch this season, if you want to take part in future episodes or future seasons, please reach out to us. You can contact our marketing team or make a comment on the video, and we will reach out to you. Even if you just want to send in some questions that we want to look at, the season is called Burning Questions. So the more questions we get, the more we can look at it. But obviously, thank you very much for staying tuned. Obviously, it's been Glenn and myself. Please follow us on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little notification bell. It does really support our channel and our effort to help educate the industry. If you want more information, please check out all the older episodes. On our website, like I said earlier, we have a great knowledge hub that has dedicated questions and answers from Quelfire on a number of hot topics. Again, pardon the pun, like Glenn did. But overall, please reach out to us. Enjoy season 2, and we'll check in with you later on. Thank you very much.